Good morning, good morning, good morning. Grand rising, grand rising, grand rising. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. I'm your host, Matt Riches. This is the $1 Trillion Tickers broadcast. This is your pre-market briefing for Wednesday, February 4th, 2026. We got fresh labor data earlier this morning. We got another red folder coming up shortly. Earnings are driving real positioning decisions across tech, energy, and healthcare. This is not a reaction market. This is an interpretation market. This show is for education and entertainment only. Always do your own research, but you can use this show as a foundation. Let's get into the $1 Trillion Tickers family legacy mantra. I deserve to be healthy. I deserve to be happy. I deserve the wealth that I'm building for me and my family. Riches and freedom, they come to our hands. I am the master of all I command. My learning is limitless. My earnings are too. The more I discover, the more I can do. The stock market is a machine of design, and I have the power to make that wealth mine. I am capable, I am skilled, I am bold. Blessings on the journey as the vision unfolds. All right, so that red folder that we had this morning was ADP non-farm employment change. The forecast was 46K. The actual was 22K. That's a clear downside miss, pointing to continued cooling in the private sector hiring. It doesn't signal an economic break, but it does support the idea that the labor momentum is slowing. At 7 o'clock, we have ISM Services PMI, and that's another red folder. The forecast is 53.5. Because services drive the majority of U.S. economic activity, this report matters for growth expectation, rates, and overall risk sentiment. Markets may stay cautious until this number prints. All right, give me 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second. Let me pull this up right quick. 1 second, y'all. 1 second. All right, there we go. All right, next, earnings. So, some companies that had earnings yesterday after market close. Palantir had earnings after market close, y'all. Let's see what happened. Palantir beat on the top and bottom yesterday. And as you can see, it gapped up. Next, Teradyne. They had earnings yesterday. Huge beat. They beat by 30% on the top and 10% on the bottom. And yes, nice move to the upside. And here we are. Fabrinet. They beat on the top and bottom, but as you can see, it gapped down. All right, and then pre-market today. Oh, you see the gap. You see the gap right there, y'all. PayPal. This thing dropped tremendously. PayPal missed on the top and bottom. PepsiCo. They beat on the top and bottom. It's up in the pre-market. And Pfizer. Am I tripping or what? Hold on. Am I tripping, y'all? Pfizer. Oh, I didn't change these. I'm like, man, I'm tripping, bro. Hold on, y'all. I'm tripping. I mean, those numbers are still correct, but that is not. I thought I changed it. That must have been yesterday. All right, Pfizer had earnings yesterday. Nice beat on the top and bottom, but it did gap down. Yeah, I forgot to change this. All right, AMD had earnings yesterday. Also, they had Palantir, Teradyne, Fabrinet, PayPal, PepsiCo, and Pfizer. That was all on Monday. And then Tuesday, after market close, we had AMD beat on the top and bottom. And a very nice beat on earnings. They beat 16% on the top, 6% on the bottom. AMD, it looks like they gapped down though this morning. Supermicro had earnings after market yesterday. Huge beat, about 40% on the top and 20%, 21% on the bottom. SMCI looks like it gapped up. Chipotle beat on the top and bottom, 5% on the top, small beat on the bottom. Enphase Energy, nice beat on earnings, about 21%. Revenue, small beat. And Amgen beat on the top and bottom. All right. And pre-market today, I don't know why I didn't change this. Pre-market today, we had Uber. Excuse me for my technical difficulties here. Pre-market today, we have Uber earnings. Wow, look at this. Minus 82% on earnings. And small beat on revenue. So it closed here yesterday at 77. After the earnings announcement, huge miss, but it ran up after the huge miss, so they must have had some good guidance. After that, Lilly in the pre-market. Lilly, you see that candle right there. You can't miss that candle. They beat on the top and bottom. Very nice beat by 9% on earnings, 7.5% on revenue. They did close yesterday at 1,002. It's in the pre-market right now at 1,083. And last one, earnings this morning, Novo Nordisk. They beat on the top and bottom. It did fall in the overnight market. It ran up after the earnings announcement, but it has since fell back down. All right. Next is our Daily Law by Robert Greene. It said today is February 4th, 2026. This one says, get one good piece of advice or guidance today from a master of your profession or life. The law breakdown. Value learning above everything else. As you progress in life, you'll be more attracted to a high paycheck, and it will begin to dictate where you go, how you think, and what you do. Eventually, the time not spent not spent learning skills will catch up with you and the fall will be painful. Instead, you must value learning above everything else. This leads you to the right choices. You choose situations that offer the greatest opportunities to learn, especially hands-on work. You seek environments with mentors who inspire and teach. A job with mediocre pay trains you to get by with less, which is a valuable skill, but never disdain an apprenticeship with no pay. Often the wisest move is to find the right mentor and offer your services freely. In return, you'll gain access to knowledge and trade secrets. By valuing learning above all else, you set the stage for creative expansion and the money flows. In long-term investing application of that, long-term investors prioritize learning over short-term gains. Understanding cycles, risks, and patience compounds decision-making skills before capital ever compounds. And as far as the active trading application, active traders grow through feedback, review, and mentorship. The goal is mastery, not fast income. Mastery creates durability. All right, the overnight global session recap. Asian markets traded mixed overnight with no major policy developments. Moves were orderly and driven primarily by currency and rate expectations. The London session. European markets opened steady, monitoring U.S. labor data and earnings flow. No major geopolitical or macro shocks out of the region. All right, let's check out our $1 trillion tickers. And we do have a new $1 trillion ticker today, y'all. We do have a new $1 trillion ticker today. All right, the most valuable companies in the world: NVIDIA, 4.3 trillion, followed by Google, 4.1 trillion. Apple, 3.9 trillion. Microsoft, 3 trillion. Amazon, 2.55 trillion. Meta, 1.74 trillion. TSM, 1.741 trillion. Very close between those two. Tesla, 1.58 trillion. AVGO, 1.51 trillion. BRK.B, 1.06 trillion. And the newest newcomer to the $1 trillion ticker family is Walmart. Walmart now has a market cap of 1.01 trillion, y'all. Welcome Walmart to the family. Welcome Walmart to the family, y'all. Yes, yes, yes. Welcome Walmart to the $1 trillion ticker family. All right, here we go. Market open, market open, market open. The market is open, y'all. February 4th, 2026, 6:30 a.m. You know, it's California time out here where we at. Let's get on these $1 trillion tickers. Let's see how they moving. Let me get on the 1 minute chart so you can see. NVIDIA is down almost 1% at 178.68. Google is up almost 0.5% at 341. Apple is up almost 1.5% at 273.55. Microsoft is barely over break even at 411.50. Amazon is down fractionally at 238.21. TSM is down almost 0.75% at 333.33. AVGO is down over 1.5% at 314.50. Meta is down 1% at 684.54. Tesla is down almost 1% at 419.10. BRK.B is up over 0.5% at 496.63. And the newest comer to the $1 trillion tickers is up barely over break even at 127.84, y'all. All right. Let's check out some news. Oh, this was so dope. Google announced Project Genie, an experimental research prototype powered by Genie 3, our world model that lets you prompt an interactive world into existence and then step inside. It's so dope. So you put a description of the world that you would like to create, and then it will create it for you. And then you get to use a character, any character you want. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see the example that is being shown here. It started out with a Shiba Inu dog, and then they just changed the prompt and it turned into a balloon. You can be an ant, you can be a bird, and you can actually control the character you created, and the character can interact with the environment. Anything you can think of, like, your world is actually limitless. Whatever you can think of, you can create, and you can play in that world. So you can even take a picture, upload the picture, and then use something from the picture. Then the world in the picture will be created, and you can use the character in there. An example is a lady took a picture of her cat in her house, and then that became the world, and she was able to use the cat as the character. And you get to move the character left, right, and you can also make the character jump. And I just thought that was so dope. So dope. When it comes to AI, man, Google is one of the top dogs. So, yeah. If you want to make a world, check out Project Genie. Next, this was I Show Speed. When he went on his 20-country Africa tour, he actually got 3.7 million new YouTube subscribers and 700 million views across YouTube, 6 million new Instagram followers, 500 million views across Instagram, more than wait a minute. Excuse me. 3.7 million new YouTube subscribers, 700 million views on YouTube, 6 million Instagram followers, 500 million views on Instagram, more than 10 billion views across the internet for I Show Speed and his Africa tour. Wow. That is phenomenal. Shout out to Yak Young Brother right there, man. Doing his thing. Number one streamer in the world. This next motivation comes from Investing Bay on Twitter. She said, I didn't leave the bottom to settle for average. Talk about it. This next news was from a few days ago. It was just about in the Fremont factory, Tesla will no longer be creating the Model S and Model X. They will transform those production lines to create Tesla Optimus robots. Oh yeah, you heard it. You heard that right. Tesla Optimus robots will be replacing Model S and Model X on the production line in Fremont. All right. I want to say rest in power to Dr. Gloria Wade Gales. A powerful voice for black women in academia and activism. She died at 88. Raised in Jim Crow Memphis, she taught in college classrooms and on the front lines during the Freedom Summer of 1964. She obtained a PhD, wrote several influential books and academic articles on the black women's experience in American culture. Rest in power to a sister who made history by telling ours. All right, this next piece of news comes from Yahoo Finance and Starbucks. CEO Brian Nichols says the rise of GLP-1s is behind the company's protein push. So they're pushing all these protein drinks right now because all these people are taking these GLP-1 drugs and they're losing weight. And maybe they're working out, so they want some more protein. So they added some protein drinks. Shout out Starbucks. All right, next. Oh, this was so dope. La Russell. Y'all know La Russell, the #1 independent artist in the world. He sat down with Jay-Z. Him and his team sat down with Jay-Z. Just a quick clip, but I'm going to play it.
Us represent.
Excuse me. Let me start over.
Again, I really salute you. Like, because you, for us, represent that next wave of people who are going to, like, show people the way. And that shit is important for us. Again, I really salute you. Like, because you, for us, represent that next wave of people who are going to, like, show people the way. And that shit is important for us.
Dope. When a legend like Jay-Z co-signed the next wave of independent artists and he stamped La Russell, y'all go buy that La Russell album, y'all. Go buy that La Russell album. Let's hope that brother get to 100,000 albums sold. Let's hope that brother get there. All right. Next. This is from Bernie Sanders. He said, when we talk about authoritarianism, it's not just Trump. Elon Musk owns Twitter. Jeff Bezos owns Twitch. Zuckerberg owns Instagram and Facebook. Larry Ellison controls TikTok. Billionaires increasingly control what we see, hear, and read. And Bezos owns the Washington Post as well. Yeah. So it's hard to be a free thinker when the billionaires own all the media. It's going to be up to us to analyze everything and think about who benefits from the information when it's put out on these platforms. All right. Yesterday, all these stocks hit an all-time high. Google, Walmart, ExxonMobil, SanDisk, Cisco, Coca-Cola, Johnson & Johnson, GE Vernova, Western Digital, FedEx, Texas Instruments, Corning, Seagate, Northrop Grumman, Lockheed Martin. All right. Let's check out the sectors, y'all. Let's see where money's moving into. Tech is down again. Tech got clapped yesterday and he's getting clapped today, y'all. Tech is down over 1% at 140.54. That's XLK, the technology sector. XLY is up over 0.25% at 121.39. XLC is down almost 0.25% at 117.48. XLF is barely over break even at 53.54. XLV is up over 0.25% at 154.65. XLP is up over 1% at 86.73. XLE is up over 1% at 52.25. XLU is up fractionally at 43.31. XLI is up over 0.5% at 170. Looks like a new all-time high for XLI. XLB is up over 1.5% at 51.54. Looks like XLB hit a new all-time high today as well. And XLRE is up over 0.5% at 41.02. Oh, energy hit an all-time high as well. So again, just like yesterday, we had 3 sectors hit all-time highs, y'all. The money is rotating out of tech and it's going into these other sectors because they hitting all-time highs, y'all. Check out some of our other tickers we like to look at. SPX is up 0.25% at 6,930. SPY is up almost 0.25% at 691. The NAS 100 is down fractionally at 25,267. QQQ is down over 0.25% at 614.80. The Dow Jones is up over 0.5% at 49,539. The Dow Jones ETF is up over 0.5% at 495.36. The VIX is coming down. The VIX is now under 18. The VIX is at 1792. The 10-year Treasury bond is at 4.29. Gold is back under 5,000. It did run up over 5,000 yesterday and this morning, but it's back under 5,000. It's approaching it right now, actually. It's 4,997. The gold minis is back under $100. It's at 98.80. Silver is up 5% at 81.08. This iShares Silver Trust. Copper Miners ETF is down over 0.25% at 90.50. Bitcoin is at 75,150, y'all. IBIT is down 1.5% at 42.62. Ethereum is down 1.5% at 2,196. BMNR is down almost 3% at 21.72. AMD got clapped, y'all. AMD is down $31. AMD is down almost 13% at 210.83. It looks like AMD just filled this gap to the downside. Yes, it did. So we can go ahead and delete this gap. AMD has filled the gap to the downside, y'all. But it created another gap. So let me draw that gap on there. All right. Palantir is still falling, y'all. It had gapped up on earnings, but it's falling. Falling hard, y'all. Palantir is down 6%, y'all. Palantir is under 150. Palantir is at 148, y'all. And Robinhood is still falling, y'all. Did we buy it too soon? Robinhood is still falling. It's down 5%. At 82.63, y'all. Sheesh. Yeah, Robinhood can't do nothing if crypto ain't running, y'all. All right, let's check out the heat map. Let's see what we got. Ooh, look at all this red in technology right here. Sheesh. Technology services. Apple's doing great though. Apple's up almost 3%. We definitely got a mixed bag. Got a mixed bag today. We got a lot of gray in here. Definitely got a mixed bag, y'all. Check out the sectors. Yeah, all the sectors are green except technology and communications, y'all. All the other sectors are green. Let's check out some more news. This is from Elon Musk. The Boring Company to build a Dubai loop. Elon Musk and the Boring Company are going to Dubai, y'all. You know, like that tunnel that they built underneath Las Vegas. They're about to build one in Dubai as well. It's going to be a 6.4 kilometer underground tunnel network with 4 stations using autonomous Teslas at speeds up to 150 km, set to begin construction in late 2026 as their first major Middle East venture. This expands on the operational Vegas loop, which has safely carried over 3.5 million passengers across 68 miles of tunnels by late 2025, with ongoing expansions including Q1 2026 airport link to boost daily capacity to 44,000 riders. Wow. I didn't know it was 68 miles of tunnels under Vegas. That's crazy. Where the hell are they going? Vegas ain't even that big. But that's dope. That's dope. All right. Uber CEO is convinced more than ever that autonomous vehicles represent a multi-trillion-dollar opportunity, y'all. Oh, yeah. And Tesla's the competition. They better get ready. All right, the next piece of news. HSBC today upgraded Palantir to buy from hold, raising its price target to 205, up from 197. So even though Palantir is getting clapped today, it still got a price target raise. So this may be a buy the dip opportunity. It definitely is. It definitely is. This Palantir is on a super discount. If I had some cash, I would be buying shares of Palantir, but my cash is tied up, y'all. I'm going to just give y'all that transparency. My cash is still tied up in QQQI. It's been about 6 weeks. I got 2 dividends, but man, I put it all over there, so now we got to wait. All right. This next piece of news I thought was very interesting. This is from BitcoinTreasuries.net. Oh, this actually came out last year, but check this out. 556 billion California Public Employee Retirement Fund, which is CalPERS, just bought 18.5 million worth of MicroStrategy in Q2. Ooh. They're now holding 410,000 shares worth over 142 million. Well, it was worth 142 million. back in August. Oh, they said they bought it in Q2. This is terrible, actually, and I'm gonna have to bring up the chart and show you why this is terrible. Because MicroStrategy has been in nothing but a downtrend. Okay, so Q2, right? So that's March, April, and May, right? Let me put a box here. So March 1st through May 31st. All right, so we don't know the exact date that they bought it. But oh my God. CalPERS, California Public Employees Retirement Fund, they spent $18.5 million on MicroStrategy in Q2. So they bought it between the price of $232 and $431. And it is currently trading at $127. So, big mistake by the CalPERS, the California Public Employees Retirement Fund. Somebody getting fired for that. Whoever made that decision, trying to be innovative. Oh yeah, you fired. You done lost way too much bread. That bread is at least cut in half. They lost at least 50% of that. Ooh, that's terrible. All right. Speaking of MicroStrategy, it's been downgraded but maintained. Oh, excuse me. MicroStrategy downgraded by maintained. Target slashed to 185. Canaccord keeps its buy rating on MicroStrategy, but sharply cuts the price target from 474 to 185, y'all. Oh my God. They cut the price by $300. And it's now trading at 127. Michael Saylor, you gotta do something, man. Alright, next piece of news from Unusual Whales. Over 70% of licensed realtors didn't sell a single home in 2025. Y'all. Over 70%. Damn, it's hard to make money with no sales, y'all. Alright, the next piece of news comes from NVDA. Let me put the daily chart up here and see where we at. Oh, NVIDIA did break. It did break and close yesterday. It broke and closed underneath our trend line, our diagonal trend line here. It did bounce on our support of 178.10. The support underneath that I got is 175, y'all. So yeah, NVIDIA got hit hard yesterday, and yeah, it's still selling off. But Jensen said there's this notion that the tool in the software industry is in decline and will be replaced by AI. It is the most illogical thing in the world, and time will prove itself. So Jensen said, what the hell y'all talking about, man? What the hell y'all talking about? It don't make no damn sense. Orange juice. Did you know orange juice was traded on the market? It plunged by more than 20% since the start of this week. the largest 2-day decline in history. Ain't nobody drinking no orange juice no more. I don't. I'd much rather eat an orange. All right. The threshold for households to be in the top 10% of earners rose 23% since 2020, y'all. Just when people start getting to the bag, now it's 23% higher to get into the top 10% of earners. Dang. Oh, yeah, this is so interesting right here, y'all. So, somebody came up with this idea to create a social media platform for AI agents. It's called Moltbook. M-O-L-T book. So, humans can't go on it. Only humans can create an AI agent and they can connect their agent to it. And they got some real interesting conversations going on over there amongst the agents. So you should definitely check it out. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's actually insane. I think it's like over 1 million. This happened very quickly. Like this happened over this past weekend. It happened very quickly. And I think there's over 1 million AI agents that's talking to each other on this social media platform. Some of them are talking about taking over the world, stuff like that. So I thought that was very interesting. Definitely check it out. All right. It is Black History Month, so let's talk about it. The gas mask and the modern traffic light were both invented by the same person, Garrett Morgan. Born in 1877 to parents who had been enslaved, Garrett Morgan grew up with limited formal education but an extraordinary mechanical mind. He became an inventor at the time when Black Americans were largely shut out of patents, funding, and recognition. In 1914, Morgan invented a breathing device designed to protect people from smoke and toxic fumes. His invention gained national attention in 1916 after an explosion trapped workers in a water tunnel beneath Lake Erie in Cleveland. Morgan and his brother used the device to rescue several men who would have been otherwise suffocated. This invention later became the foundation for modern gas masks and firefighter breathing equipment. A few years later, after witnessing a serious traffic accident, Morgan turned his attention to road safety. Cars, bicycles, and pedestrians were sharing the street with almost no regulation. In 1923, he patented an improved traffic signal that introduced a warning phase between stop and go. That idea evolved into the 3-signal traffic light system used around the world today. Y'all, shout out Garrett Morgan, y'all. Despite the importance of his inventions, Morgan often faced discrimination and sometimes forced to sell his patents through white intermediaries to be taken seriously. Even so, his work was adopted internationally and continues to save lives every day, y'all. Shout out to that brother Garrett Morgan, y'all. Shout out Garrett Morgan. Next. This next piece of news is from Benzinga. Elon Musk XAI is recruiting crypto specialists to train the next generation of AI models. You know they just signed that deal with SpaceX too. Man, if I was a crypto specialist, I'd be trying to go work over there, y'all. This next piece of motivation comes from Wallow267. He said, "You are not behind. You are being prepared." Shout out Wallow267. All right, so we had that gap down on NVDA. It's looking very bearish today. I do have the next support level at 175. Let's check out Google on a daily. It did hit an all-time high yesterday. And we got earnings after market close. I do expect it to have a phenomenal earnings, and tomorrow open up at an all-time high. But it's down for today, down 1%. It is coming to my support level here at 336. Apple's looking very strong. Apple's been strong since it bounced on this trend line and this weekly support at 245.30. It's been very strong. Picked up a lot of buyers right there, and it's been trending up the past couple weeks. It did break our resistance trend line here, so Apple to the upside. Apple is heading back to all-time highs, y'all. It did have earnings last week. Strong beat on the top and bottom. Yeah, Apple's headed back to all-time highs, y'all. Microsoft is halfway in the gap, y'all. It's halfway in the gap. Microsoft has been getting clapped for the past week. Ever since earnings. Even though they beat on the top and bottom, Microsoft has been falling. 1, 2, 3. Microsoft been falling 5 days straight. And if it falls today, that's going to be 6 days in a row. Microsoft falling. It is halfway in the gap. Normally, when stocks get into this gaps that are this big, it will normally bounce on the halfway point, which is actually where it closed yesterday. It was right on the halfway point. So it's just it's in there today. Amazon rejected this daily resistance diagonal trend line yesterday. It had previously rejected this on Wednesday the 28th. It fought its way back up and rejected again. Rejected very hard, and now it's down over 1.5% today. It is hitting our daily support level here at 234.40. If it does break that, I do have this diagonal support trend line here. All right, TSM. TSM has just been consolidating in this area for the past couple weeks. It's just in this. Let me go ahead and draw this consolidation zone so we can remember. Yeah, so for the past couple weeks, TSM just been consolidating in this zone. So I don't want to get into a trade inside a consolidation zone. I either want it to break to the upside and get back to all-time highs, or break to the downside and head toward this gap underneath here. All right, that's what we got for TSM. AVGO. Oh, looks like AVGO filled the gap yesterday, y'all. AVGO filled the gap. This gap that was from earnings in September when it had gapped up. It has filled the gap from September, y'all. So we can go ahead and delete that. All right. It is also breaking underneath our diagonal support trend line here. That is a bad sign. That's a very bearish sign. So the next level that I have underneath that trend line is going to be 306.30. And then if it breaks that, we have our psychological level of 300, followed by 289.60. Meta. Can you believe this shit? Pissing me off, dude. Damn. Meta has filled the gap to the downside. I should have sold that shit. Oh, man. We waited for like a whole quarter for Meta to run up. It gapped up after earnings and fell right back down. The rotation out of tech is heavy right now. But it's February, so we expected it. But I should have sold that shit. I think I was up like 20%. After being down 20% for the longest. But it's too late now. Hopefully it can hold this weekly level here at 273. Or it'll bounce on this diagonal resistance level. It can turn that into support. Hopefully. But that shit is down 3% today. Damn. $20, $21, man. Tesla is at our daily diagonal trend line support here. If it does break it, next level of support I have is 413.50. If we break that, it's coming back to 400. And then to the upside resistance, I got 425.93, followed by this diagonal trend line. So yeah, that's what I got on Tesla. BRK.B looking very strong. They are definitely benefiting on this rotation outside of tech. Because remember, this thing was over. It was consolidating around 500 for heck long. And then it ended up falling all the way down to 471. And it's been running. It's back up to 500. It's been running for the past, 5 days in a row. Today gonna be 6. BRK.B been running. And Walmart hit an all-time high today. Go ahead and put that on the chart. Move my magnet. There we go. Walmart hit an all-time high today. Walmart been running for the past 4 days. All right. I think that's it, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in to Trading Dollar Tickers. Hope you learned something. If you would like me to make any additions to the show, put it in the comments. Let me know. If not, let's see who got earnings. Who got earnings after market close? I think we got some big dogs. We got Google. After market close on Wednesday, we got Google. We got ARM. We got Qualcomm. We got Elf Beauty. So we got, yes, it's a big earnings day. After market close, we need Google. We need Google to perform to hopefully bring tech back, because tech been getting clapped, y'all. QCOM is a strong company too. And then tomorrow we got Amazon, y'all. We got Amazon after market close tomorrow, along with Affirm and Iran and MicroStrategy, y'all. MicroStrategy. Oh my God. We'll see them numbers tomorrow. Michael Saylor and them. All right. That's it, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back tomorrow in the pre-market. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom. Peace, blessings, financial freedom.